Hi there, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my sewing room. I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas. It was a different Christmas for many of us for different reasons. And I was able, in the midst of different things that I'm going through, to really simplify our Christmas dinner and our time and really enjoy it. And I'm still getting great joy out of my Christmas decorations. I never got them posted to Instagram. I haven't really even done Instagram for quite a while. So next year, they'll be there for next year. But I am getting great joy out of just enjoying the decorations and the light and the simplification that I've chosen to do and pass on a lot of my Christmas decorations to friends or the thrift store. And New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is coming up, and I'm not a partier at all. So for me, New Year's Eve is always just a family or quiet celebration time, and looking back on the past year and seeing the things that went well and how can I continue those in the next year, 2022, and looking at the things that didn't go so well that are within my control, or how I responded to things that are outside my control. And I really want to see, if I didn't do so well, what I can do better next year. But I'm a thinker and I'm a processor and I'm always evaluating. And so I just want to see how I can do things better. And I shared how I do a word of the year or a phrase for the year, and I usually choose a Bible verse that I need to think on and help me through. And so I had shared that my phrase, because I needed 3 words, not just one word, but 3 words for 2021 was trust and obey. And my friend Christy made this for me from the book. She used the motifs from this book, the Ultimate Sampler Motifs Source Book by Brenda Keyes. So she made this for me, and I treasure it. And I had it where I saw it when I got up in the morning, and it just really was good at helping keep my focus on trusting and obeying in God to help me get through the challenges of 2021. And we all have similar and different challenges depending on where we live and our personal situations. So this really helped me in 2021. So thank you, Christy. Then I was thinking of a word that I had chosen for 2022, and that word is abide. And I read at the end of my videos, I always share a little bit of a devotional type of thing, and whether it's from reading the Bible or just sharing my thoughts and different verses that have helped me. But I shared part of John 15 about abiding, how I need to abide with my Jesus to help me be fruitful and help me make it through 2022. And I shared about some of the challenges that I'm facing and how that is going to be my word to help me keep moving forward victoriously. That's what I really want to do. Every day is certainly not victorious, but I am going to be using this book to make myself a pillow. So I've been choosing, and this was a sweet gift from one of my darling viewers, but I've already chosen some of the lettering, and I have several different borders that I am looking at, and just different things to help me think about abiding. And I love this tree. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be stitching a pillow as a verse for the year. And now that I'm a cross stitcher, Christy just got me thinking that would be a neat thing to have that verse or the word and the year on those pillows, so I could look back and have those memories. So that's going to be fun to do. Then another plan that I have, because New Year's, I don't even know what today is. I think it's the 29th. New Year's is coming. And on my playlist, I have playlists, and sometimes things get added in weird places, and I'll go clean it up. But the Auld Lang Syne song, I have two versions of it on my playlist under my favorite music, because I wanted to know, what does that word mean? And it means long time past. And so there was a free chart. I just was kitting it up this morning, and this is a orphan block that I made up last year, orphan block from my mom. But the only thing is you can't see what's inside of it, but I know what's inside of it, so that kind of helps me. But I kitted up this free chart, and it was kind of hard to find, but I think I found it originally on Pinterest. But it's on the twistfamily.blogspot.com. It's the Heartstring Sampler Design by Beth Twist. So it's an Auld Lang Syne, but it says, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And so I'm using my thing, and so many other people are doing it on my encouragement, but also across the board. I think there's a lot of us that are stitching from our stash. So I was calling it Stitch What You Got. I'm not really doing Instagram, but go for it with a hashtag. And I do so if I was to do it, hashtag Stitch Whatcha. So STITCHWATCHAGOT, Stitch What You Got. That's what I'm calling it. So I'm just using 32 count because 32 is not my favorite anymore, and I want to use it up because I generally will do 2/2 Vintage Country Mocha. So I've got that kitted up, and I did it based on the colors that she suggested, but I'm going to be changing out the lettering. And I found this one because I'm trying to use up colors that I have that maybe are not as popular, but look at that, because the lettering has 2 different colors, and I thought, well, this would be very fun. So this is a bramble bush. It's CC, Classic Colorworks, but I had 2 bramble bushes in there. One was very different than this, so that's going to be fun. So I like the dark colors, so I'm going to be doing that. That is what I'm going to be working on. I almost have a finish. I think I was working on it on my last video, and my goodness, my last video would have been FlossTube number 42, and I didn't get nearly everything done. I had 2 things that I was going to talk about. One was how I actually did the finish on these sleigh bells, and the other one was about the quilt that was usually up in that corner. I was going to take a break and do the video right away. I got called to work, and then the next day all these things kept happening, and I thought, oh good grief, we got to do it now. Even though I don't have that much finished product to show you, there's always a lot of chat and things that I want to share and my tips and tricks. So I'm going to show you Valentine's things that I'm pulling out and excited about. I'm going to share with those items, and always tips and tricks, because that's what I got to stop touching that. So let me know, do you like this mic? I don't particularly like it because I feel tethered down and it doesn't sound that great to me on my iPad, but I want to do what works for you guys, because there's no sense in you seeing my mouth move if you can't hear what I'm saying. So this is almost a finish. I just have this little postage stamp motif to finish up, but this one is Plum Street Samplers, a bowl full of Merries, Merry 1. So I did change out the colors, and I'll put that in the description below, because the color that was called for was way too faded and really a light pink. So I wanted something to show up, and I'm really happy. I think it was used bricks is what that was, and I'm happy with that. And then I love, see, I'm stitching from my stash. This should be the exact same width that I need to be able to do that. So I love to pull from my scrap basket when I'm finishing my smalls, but I am really enjoying my small pillows. So this was the year that I got a little bit more done for Christmas cross stitching, and I have framed things, I have boxes, I have all. Do I have a Christmas box? No, I don't have a Christmas box yet. I've got one in the plans. But I do find that those small pillows are really easy to tuck just about anywhere, easier than the frames. So I'm enjoying that. So that was again, that's a close-up. I did change a little bit. I added a row here because I didn't want the white just fading into nothing. And I added, instead of a straight, 45-degree angle, I just gave him a little bit more of a back neck. And then I could have added one more to his rump, because I didn't really care for that white just fading out. But that was the pattern, and it's cute. So I will put those colors in that I'm doing. Okay, now I had like a totally cross-stitch Christmas, in the sense that the gifts, and I buy gifts for myself, my husband loves it, and so it was all cross-stitch related. And then somewhere there was a quilting thing too. So when I am doing my finishing, oh, let me grab that again. So when I'm doing my finishing, I have a lot of quilt rulers, and I have some that I love for cutting fabrics. Now, this was my special purchase for Christmas. So, is that work? Hang on. Nope. So this is a very, you can see the reflection. So this size is 8.5 by 12. This is going to be a very good size for my smalls to be able to see the lines. Even though it's frosted, I can see through it, and it does have this solid coating on it, so it does not move. But these lines are what I find very helpful. Of all the rulers that I have, this is my hands down favorite ruler now, and it's quiltersselect.com. I got it from Fat Quarter Quilt Shop. I ordered some batting so I could get free shipping. But this is a great size. That's not doing much because it's just showing the reflection. But that makes it very easy to be able to, it does not move, and I can see all the lines around there, so I can get my smalls trimmed very nicely. So, oh, here we go. So this is the information from that one. So that is one, if I could recommend it. I think it was like $38. But high quality quilt rulers are more expensive, and I love the fact that it does grip onto the fabric without any of the little dots that the older rulers that you have to put on there to keep it from slipping. So top notch. There you go. Another tip, I am continuing. This one, there's not much to show finished. So if you're just here to see lots of stuff, this will not be that one. More chatter and showing you things. But I am continuing to declutter, seriously declutter, and I have a playlist of decluttering, simplifying, and tiny house living, something like that, because that's that mindset that I want to get in. We've been in this home 34 years. And I have been a collector of lots of stuff. And then it's been stuff that have been piles, or it's been a beautiful countertop. I have a beautiful old hope chest that's been in our family for several generations. And the top is loaded with junk. It's almost cleared off now. I want to have it loaded with a beautiful, my decorations. So I have really been working hardcore at decluttering, and I've been commenting back and forth with different people who are saying they want to start, or they have been. It is a long process, and that's what I've been learning, is the mindset is it's not something you're going to get all done. It's something I want to, by the end of next year, and my goal is really in 6 months to be finished with decluttering, because I've pretty much been doing this for about 4 months now. The garage is going to take a lot to go through because I have a lot of stuff and I need to fine tune it, but I'm getting better and better and better. And I always have a box or a bag of stuff that I just package up and send away. And it really is very time consuming and sometimes emotionally exhausting, but so rewarding. So a lot of times now I'll just open a cupboard and I think, oh, I don't like what's on that shelf, and I just do it right now. That's the other thing I'm learning. Don't put it off. If I have time, sometimes it just takes 10 minutes, because I've already kind of thought, like when I cleaned off my mugs, I thought, these are my special mugs. These are the mugs that I need to pass along. And they were crammed in there so tight, they could have broken just from being crammed in tight. So I'm getting on that groove and I'm really enjoying it. But again, I have less stitching time because I've been doing more cleaning, but it's necessary. It's just a necessary thing that I want to do now. And I feel very strongly about the need to do that. And now my room is back to being organized again. I got rid of the cart that had been in my fabric closet. So even when I just wanted to go in there and pull out a piece of fabric, I have a beautiful collection, and it's organized by color or designer. It's a fantastic collection. It's my store in my closet. But because that cart was in there with all my cross-stitch stuff and quilt stuff, I rarely went in there because I didn't want to have to move the card out of the way on the carpet and then put it back. So now that card is gone. It's now in my closet with other stuff on it. And I'm just continuing to work through things. So that's been a big win-win. So now I want my studio, my sewing room, to be able, if it's a mess, I'm not going to be able to create. I'm not going to be able to work on my project bags or just finish up a small or do a huge. I like to use my table to kit things up. And then as a quilter, if it's a mess, I can't do my thing. So I have found that because of the piles, as much as I was cleaning, there was always piles of more stuff. It really dampened my creativity. So that's where this year, 2022, my goal is to have my house neat and tidy and organized so that I can do what I want to do, whether just to have friends drop by or whether just to on the spot be able to work on a new project. So that's been a goal, but again, why I haven't been stitching so much. So let me share with you how I did. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Now, I shared about my finish, and this is Country Rustic Primitives Sleigh Bells. And I have the Noel, and I showed that one. But I talked about how I did this finish. And it's similar to what she has on the pattern, but she just has it, I think, on a piece of wire or a piece of string. And I really wanted to do this. Now, okay, so now I've got stuff on top of that. Let's see where I can get those supplies because there's going to be endless things to share with you, and I do have 2 giveaways coming up. But they're embroidery. So, okay, so here we go. These are my supplies. Now, I'm a beater. I'm a beater, not a beater. This was the last project that I made, and it's one of my favorites, so I really need to get back to it, but it's just another creative outlet that I have. But I have a lot of these kind of supplies, tools that I can use across the board with other things. So the things that I used, and this is where I can show what I used because I already had these items. So this is metallic SoftFlex Fine. Now I had written on here it was $12, so don't just go get this just for this, but it is a very thin, flexible, coated wire that is used for jewelry. So it's not exactly like the thin tie, it's not tie wire, but you can also use thick thread. You could use thick thread for this that I'm going to show you. This is just what I used because I had it. The other thing, let's get all this stuff out. The other thing that I had that I used is this. It's not very expensive. When I bought it a couple years ago, it was $3.49. It's called On Accord. This one is chocolate and it's deerskin lace. So the dimension is 3/16 by 2 yards. It is soft, flexible, pliable, and it's made for jewelry making. But what I would like to find is the wider one next because I have some larger bells on order. But this did the trick. But I want to show you, it took me probably an hour and I was very, very frustrated. But my first try was a fail. But so I wanted to show it to you before I took it apart. This stuff, even though it's very soft, very flexible. Well, you are not going to get a needle through it. And I tried to just, this is what happened. I tried to just take a little tiny bite. I went through all my needles to find one strong enough and thin enough that I could go through and take a tiny bite because I could not get it through that deerskin. Now I could have done a lot of different things, but it was late at night and I just wanted it done. But it didn't work. This did not work, but it was the look I was going for. And so I persisted, and I got totally frustrating and I was thinking, this is not worth it. And I thought, yes, it is, because I really want it to happen. The other thing that I used is this. These were on Amazon. And I wanted larger bells, but they did not have them on stock at that time. They had, I want to say, I can say on here what they are. They are, what are they? Did I write that in there? Yes, they are 10 millimeter bronze. So this is the size of the bells that they are. And now the larger ones are in stock. So I ordered those so I can play around. So beautiful bells. They were not that expensive, but the trick that I learned, and I will write in the show notes because I actually measured everything and wrote it down so I can remember for next year, and then I can share with you, because again, I am not good at tutorials. My brain just doesn't work that way. So I'm just going to share with you what I did. So the measurements of what I did I actually wrote it down in my stitching journal. Okay, so this is where I could have had this ready for you guys, but I had it ready for you last week and just didn't finish it. Oh, good golly. Where did I put it? Okay. Well, yes. Here we have it. Okay, so, Yep, those were 1/2 inch sleigh bells. Now, what I did was I cut a piece 7 1/4 inches. So I cut this piece, just so you can see, if you want to do it just like Bonnie, 7 1/4 inches, and you can see I cut it at an angle. Now you could just use scissors to cut it, but it's getting those little holes cut in there. These are a good brand, Xuron, XURON. They were ones that I got because they were a high quality beading tool. So I got these out, but you could just use wire cutters, but it needs to be very, very sharp. And at one time I bought, like when I was a woodworker, I bought electrical tools for electricians. So if you have beading tools, use these, but you can see it's very, very sharp and narrow at the tip. So what I had to do to come up, this is the finished project. And so I have an extra one. I have one late going to my stitching friend. You know who you are, because we already talked about this. And I didn't get it in the mail. So this is the finished product of what I came up with. So how did I get those little holes in there so that I could feed it through the back? And that's what and I'm losing the light because it looks like it's going to start raining. But this is what I did. I had to cut holes so that I could put that loop of the bell through it and then catch it with the SoftFlex wire. So certainly you can do a thick thread to do the same thing. So what I did was I measured in, it was a 1/2 inch. I did 7 bells at 1/2 inch intervals. And I started the first one off at 1 3/4. So I started the first, I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's see if I can get my measurement on my quilt thing right here. Okay, so at 1 3/4, this is about where it is. What I did to cut it, if you have really sharp scissors that you can do without cutting through, go for it. This is just the way that I came up with, and I meant to try it with scissors to see if it would work. So what I did was I folded it over at 1 3/4, and I'm not going to be able to do this. Oh, I guess I can right there. So I cut it like this so I could go through it halfway like that. There we go. But the trick was it didn't always cut all the way through so that bell could poke through. Basically, I'm making like a buttonhole. So you just want to make sure that it has that little bit of opening, and if not, I did it again because it's already eaten through part of the way, but I wanted to get it through enough. So if I needed to, I just accentuated a little bit more. And all I did was I did that then at 1/2 inch increments till I got 7 on there. And then I went through and I poked the loop for the bell. I poked it through there. And then I grabbed it up with that bit of wire. And I had a big enough piece that I didn't have to worry about it falling off. So I just kept doing that until I had that whole, nope, that was my failed one. Until I had, where are you? There you are. Until I had them all laced on there. Then I thought, well, how am I going to get it? How am I going to actually get it on the pillow? And because I finished it after midnight, the next day I thought, how did I do it? I have no idea. So I had to look close at it. So this might help you. When I went to pull it, it got all gathered and I thought, oh, that's cute. But none of this was really planned. I was just winging it. But I really liked how it kind of gathered like that. It just looked pretty, I thought. So when I went to do this, I don't know if you can see it. The first one it's kind of just caught on there. See, that's a loop, and then it just is caught it's caught here, it's caught here, and it's caught there. So what I did was I just held this on where I wanted it to go. I pulled it. Did I have one? Yeah, I had a longer side. I cut a big enough piece. Now this piece I cut at, I even wrote that down. Did I write it down? That looks about 24 inches. Yeah, 22. It says it's about 22 inches. So all I did was I held this on where I wanted it, and I literally looped this through the cross-stitch linen. So I looped it through the linen, and then I pulled it like that. And then, so imagine this is now attached at one place to the linen, and then I looped, so it's, and this is why I don't do, this is why I do not do, I'm going to hate this when I watch this. This is why I don't like tutorials, but I still wanted to show you. So I looped that through, and then what I did is I kind of just, because it's almost like, you don't need it as a needle, I just poked it through the linen, grabbed a little bit of the linen, pulled it up, and then looped it through the back of one of these bells. I didn't even need to tie it. So then, so let me just try that right now. So I imagine that I'm looping it through the linen. Can't even see this. Okay. So then I've looped it, and then it was tugged a little bit, and so it gathered onto the pillow a little bit like that. And then I did it again. So I went about an inch, and I grabbed another chunk of linen, and I looped it through the back of this other bell. I'm watching birds flying in my garden too as I'm doing this, out of the corner of my eye, as I'm thinking, this sounds horrible what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. But it's still looped on there, so it's like it's sewn into the linen. Then I just did that one more time, and then I just kind of gathered it the way I wanted it to be. And I looked real close, and I literally just like tied a double knot, or maybe a triple knot, as if it was thread. That's the beauty of this. This stuff is great. That's the beauty of that, is it acted as thread. So you could use buttonhole thread and a needle and do the same thing. But that's how I did it. So part of the reason I haven't done this video either is I don't explain things well. I am not a born teacher. I like to inspire. So hopefully I've inspired you to give it a try and do a tutorial for people to help them know how to do this better. But it was cute. And I've even thought, well, wouldn't it be cute just to do even one that's a small one, because I liked that so much. But there's lots of charts that you can buy that say Jingle Bells or Jingle All the Way, different things, because I thought, oh, now that I figured that out, I want to use that more often. So hopefully that helped in all that confusion, but I was pleased with how it turned out. Water time. Okay. Now, to get this out of my way, another thing that I've been doing as I've been decluttering and organizing and trying to have things where I want them, I had like the way that I like kitting things up is with, and I think it's now that I'm getting it, I'm simplifying things. So instead of all the cute different tags that I could use, and I have used and I have had as gifts, and I love them. But when I'm doing this now in the future and I'm purchasing or I'm making things, I really do like these. These are from Park Lane, and they're my style. So primitive, but they're just Park Lane, and there's circles already with this one there. They're just tags. So this is what I have now. I have this in my little dresser, so that way when I get my floss, which I'm going to show you what I got for Christmas, I use these. These are the Yarnology bags from Hobby Lobby. I like it that they have this on there rather than writing across there. I use 2 Sharpie pins, and then I have this hole punch to punch the bigger hole. So I can always get to that dresser, and I can always pull that out. And so I have everything here simplified. And that's one thing that I really want to do, is simplify things. And even though I have a lot of different things, I just want them in a simpler way. And so that was my tip, my trick for what I'm doing and why I'm doing that. Now, since we have these here, on my playlist, I had talked about this last year, but I know I have a lot of new followers or people just visiting. These were something that my mom and my sister made. Yes, the red can run if they get washed. But these are just coasters, and I adore gingerbread. Gingerbread men I adore. So these were just fun coasters, and on my playlist, I think it has fabric projects, but on my playlist, the very first video for whatever, I didn't even look to see what playlist that might be, how to make these is on that very first playlist. And so they're just fun. And now I have my mom's collection and my collection, and I love them because these are my Christmas colors. Okay, so if anyone has questions about this quilt, I just put it up there because the one that I'm going to tell you about, it looks so naked. That's my mom's throw quilt that she had made, and then she gave it to me. And I shared about it last year on my Christmas quilt, so I showed you big close-ups. But just in case you want to see, those are 8. I have no idea. It probably, I don't even know if it was a real pattern, but those are 8-inch finished blocks. And each little block here is 2 inches. So it's very fun. It's very scrappy. And I use it here in my sewing room as just a lap quilt. And I'm realizing I have a lot of twin-sized quilts that are kind of big and bulky, and I don't just grab them when I want just a quick quilt sometime. So I'm going to start making more quilts this size. It's finished at 48 inches. And so that's why I'm trying a new batting out as well. But I ordered, just to get the shipping, to get free shipping on Fat Quarter Shop, I ordered several throw battings so that I can start whipping out some easy quilts. So that's a little trick. Oh, since I'm just sharing stuff. Okay, so when I got that SoftFlex out, I thought, oh my word, I have a project that I started. And this was the mix. Beadshop.com is where I buy everything. And this was a monthly mix. And I added a couple beads to it. And I have not done beading since the end of 2019. But isn't this pretty? This is what the SoftFlex is for. And hopefully I won't drop the whole thing. Oh, good thing I had it. I thought about it. So it's a necklace that I'm working on. I don't generally like necklaces because I don't like anything heavy on my neck because I have so much skin damage from that beautiful tan I had from my neighbor's pool. So I like very, very soft necklaces. So I thought, oh my word, I need to finish that up. But again, I've been obsessed with cross stitching since I found Shanda and my FlossTube. That was my FlossTube gateway. I've been obsessed with cross stitching, but I do have many other loves of things that I enjoy. But that's why I had all those beading supplies. Now, another tip that I wanted to share, I was going to say if you're a quilter, even as a cross stitcher, this is a prescription bottle, and I really don't use that. This was actually a prescription for Riley, but these are great when you have broken needles, broken things that you don't want to just throw in the trash bag because it could get through. It could hurt. It could cause harm. So I have broken, bent needles, pins that I put in here, and then I can throw the whole thing in the trash. Even though it's recyclable, it's for a purpose in the trash. Okay, so I had shared last video that I was really I had a kind of a hard week, a lot of different stuff going on, but I was going through a lot of my mom's hand stitching supplies, and it was very emotional. And so I have learned how to break it down to the things that I want to keep and the things that I am grateful that she enjoyed, but I have a great thrift store by me. So I package things up in these little bags that I get at Hobby Lobby that I've had for other things, and I package things up. Well, she was a bear maker. She made bears with clothes, and she had probably 100 packages of buttons that would great for little kids kind of thing. Well, I don't have any grandkids. I don't know that I'm going to, and I'm not going to make their clothes anyway. So I was able to pass on, and I packaged them all up in different groupings that are going to the thrift store. Beautiful buttons that people will have. Well, I took a big bag and I decided to keep a couple. So that's kind of blowing it out. But I kept a tag. I kept a couple fun buttons from my mom. That's what I'm learning how to do. There was a gentleman that I followed, and he's on the playlist. Ronald Banks talked about how to declutter sentimental items, and I am taking that to heart and using those tricks that I'm learning to be able to do that. Okay, so now the next thing. I should just tell you this. So I was cleaning up my floor, and it was during that time I was missing my mom a lot. Christmas time, there is always one song that is very hard for me to listen to. I don't want to taint it for you guys. One Christmas song that ever since my mom moved away, it's always been very, very hard for me. It usually makes me cry. And so it was just kind of teary. And then I went to clean up my room, and I found something, and it made me cry with happy tears. But I had worked, these were her orphan blocks, and I made a project bag, and then I was going to make this wall hanging, and I had even chosen her fabric as a border, but it was sitting on the floor. That's the thing, I don't want anything on the floor. It was sitting on the floor with other stuff on top of it. And I forgot about it. So I uncovered it, and it's like, oh, Mom. So I told my friend Allison it was like getting a hug from my mom. So that is a neat thing. That was a neat special gift for me. And then another reason to have things more organized so I know where things are. I love kids' books, and we homeschooled, and I'm a treasure hunter. So I would go down to our local bookstore, and they had, or our local library had a bookstore. And I was really getting kids' books for history and stuff for my kids and authors that I was looking for. But I would also just look at beautiful books because they were $0.25. So this is, and I love kids' books, especially with beautiful artistry. So I need to read through this again, but I just looked through it, just flipping through it real quick, and I saw, oh, there's even a quilt in there. So see, beautiful pictures. Beautiful pictures. So this was A Year of the Perfect Christmas Tree by Gloria Houston. So I still need to sit down. It's been in this pile. That's why I haven't read it. Then another thing, as I've been cleaning out my garage, my sister was giving us a bunch of stuff. And this was my mother's and her brother's when she was young. But it's darling, very old. And it was from 1944. So just super cool, very fragile, but another treasure for me to go through of things that I have found from my mom. And that's the other benefit of decluttering is actually, I will like literally be touching over this year everything that I own, which is really good because it's like, oh my word, I don't need to buy anything more. But of course I got some more stuff for Christmas, but it was Christmas. But I'm really very careful now when I go to purchase something. It was so funny. Here we go with the chatty. It was so funny when we were planning our Christmas dinner and my husband actually was off and we went to Costco together. And I had told him, I'm going to get this and this and this and this. And then as I'm putting it in my cart, I'm thinking, I'm trying to get more frugal with my money. And I'm trying to minimalize the stuff that I purchase. And so I was going to buy a pumpkin and an apple pie. Oh my gosh, Costco has the best pumpkin and apple pies. And then I was going to get whipped cream. And I thought, well, we don't need two pies because our neighbors, we exchange cookies in our neighborhood. I could have gone without the apple pie. We got so many cookies. So I told my husband, I just got an apple pie, no whipped cream, no pumpkin pie, no ice cream. And he's like, good. So we simplified so much, and I am loving this new lifestyle. And it is traveling in my quilting and my cross stitching too. So that's where Stitch What You Got, but also like other floss tubers, I know Shanda was talking about this, buying the supplies now that you need in case there's short supply or they are going up, inflation, so that you can enjoy the things that you have without being out of a supply. Now, most of us have enough floss that we could do anything really. But if you have a particular floss that you want, you know, that's what I did for Christmas. I went through my flosses again and I fine-tuned what I really wanted. So I will share that with you, and then 2 charts that I got. But because I do not want to forget this. This is that quilt. And again, I got to figure out so I don't, let's drink this water in case I spill it. Being tethered on with a microphone hopefully is working well for you guys. I just have to learn how to work with it. But it's hard when I show you things because I don't want to knock my iPad off its stand. So this is how I hang my things. I have a rod. You can probably see it. When I cleaned my room, I even found a better rod. It's just a dowel that we spray painted. And I just need to cut it shorter because it fits in that area. But this is how I do things. And I do need to be very careful when I put them on or take them off so they don't rip. But this is, I'm going to show you the pattern. It's an old one. Then my pattern is going to be a giveaway. So this is by, Once Upon a Vine. You can see it's from 1999. I don't even know if it's available. So one person that really wants this. So hopefully it will be somebody that really plans on doing it. Even if embroidery, if you can do cross stitch, you can do embroidery. So even if you've never done embroidery. So Once Upon a Vine. This is the complete set. So this is it. So I put this together years ago. Now I shared last year about it, that I probably wouldn't do the homespun now. I would probably do more like a different kind of fabric. But it is kind of dated because I did put this together quite a while ago. This was not, putting it together was not part of the pattern. I just came up with these from something else. I'm sure it was from another quilt book that I had that I have no idea what it is. So these are flosses. I use the Noel floss. So this floss, I think it's Noel by Gentle Arts, but these were all over-dyed floss. Which colors, I have no idea because I did not write anything down. This is one of them. So that's one. And I think all the corners are pretty much similar. We'll see as we get to this one. Okay, so here's this next one. And I think I used all, what that is, I don't know. But I used all the same variegated. I tried to give them a similar look. So you can see they all have some aspects. This was just fusible applique, very simple. But this is the next one. I love the pine cones. And then here's the details on the next one. So this one is Follow the Star, little baby Jesus. And then Alleluia. And I think it did give it a good continuity with keeping many of the same threads as we go through. I like how it has the dark thread there and then the lighter threads on the way out there. So there's that one. Let's see how I can make sure I do it because everything I see is opposite. Okay, so there's the Frosty Flakes. And then we have this one, Christmas cookies. I had a hard time because the white just didn't, and this is Osnaburg. It's just simply Osnaburg. I have a whole embroidery video where I go into the painful details of how I transferred everything. I think this was one of my favorite ones, and I just used a decorator button. And is that, yep, that's just loose thread there. But it's just simply Osnaburg. Did I show you all 4? Yep. Okay, so last row, and I haven't ripped you off the stand yet. Oh, that's my favorite one too. I like the details. See how I like that Christmas tree skirt. And then the white doesn't show up that much from a distance. So, hopefully you'll figure out something that shows up a little bit better. There's that cute little Rudolph and First Snow. So there we go. That's how I put it together. And now it's stuck on me. Okay. It's stuck on me. Well, I will have that ring on me. How can I get that off? The ring is stuck on me. The whole quilt is stuck on me. And now you're stuck on me because the microphone is stuck on me. And how am I going to do this? All right, I can do this, guys. I can figure out how to unhook it. There. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. All right, so there is that whole quilt. or the whole wall hanging, but it can also be done in small pillows. So it can be a bunch of smalls. So the whole collection, they're 12. Is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 12 patterns. They're all of those patterns are in here. So so these are the hard things. It has to be United States because postage is outrageous. So United States over 18, so you can actually give me your address. United States, and you have until January 16th, midnight, January 16th. I'm giving you some more time because it's Christmas holidays still. Usually I like to do 2 weeks, so a little bit more than 2 weeks. So January 16th at midnight, I'll comment on your comment. So this one, what did I have that word as? Okay, so I tried to pick a word because you can't do embroidery. I didn't. Anyway, it's greetings. So one of those said season's greetings. So greetings, Greetings. That's going to be the word if you want to have that. And also don't put the word giveaway in your comment because people can search that and just do a giveaway even though they don't need it. So anyway, January 16th. I have a lot of emotional issues and I have a lot of anxiety. I have anxiety about mailing things out too. So hopefully I will be brave. I don't get it. I don't get what the problem is. It just is a problem. So January 16th, I'm going to pick that number and then I'm going to comment on your comment. So I'm going to need you within a week. Respond back and I'll give you my email. You email me the address and then I'll send it to you. But otherwise, we need to go on to the next one. Now, if there's 12 in there, it would be cool to have a project. You can do one a month. So hopefully there you'll have that. And by next year, somebody will get that pattern and pass on a blessing. Here is the next giveaway. And I didn't have any cross-stitch charts to do as giveaway. So this will just be embroidery ones. Okay, so here is a chart. And this one is going to be sunflower. Same thing. All the same rules. But this one, let's see if I can do this one without crying. I think I've shared this before. When I shared talked about embroidery, I shared this one. I stitched this one twice. I did it for my mom and I did it as, I think it was a Mother's Day gift. And I want to I'm going to show it to you. And then I want to share with you why sunflowers are something that remind us all of my mother. So that's why the sunflowers were here. The first one I gave away to the thrift store years ago. Before I knew any of you guys, I would have done it for a giveaway. But this one I keep on the back of my door. So this is, and it's, I have notes in that chart. You know, that thing has some of my own notes. So some of it I wrote down the flosses that I did. I have writing on there. My mom, her chosen name that the grandkids called her was Gramby. So it was Grandma B for Grandma Barbara, but she made it Gramby's, and she had a fantastic garden when they moved to Colorado. So this is what the pattern is for. This is on Sandcastle. It was something I got like 20 years ago. I do not know if it's still out. It is a pre-quilted fabric, but it's thin. It's not like a regular thick quilted fabric. So it was hard to find then. I bought like a lifetime supply of it. Actually, I did look it up. If you search Sandcastle quilted something, it is still for sale. I can't remember who by, Hoffman Brothers maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so this is something I also inherited from my mom. These are really cool boxes. She had this in her room. It's in my office, and I really, I still miss her terribly. So it's kind of hard to look through some of these pictures, but I thought, oh, this would be perfect. This, because that's like put into the drawer. So I'm literally going to have to show it to you closer. All right. So she had a huge, okay. It's as good as it can get because I don't think I can get it out. It's in there. So she had a huge garden and she grew huge sunflowers, and she loved dressing the part of a country woman. And anyway, and look she made a face in it. Oh, darn it. I didn't realize it was going to be this hard. So she made a little happy face in that sunflower. So, and then she put them out for the birds. So my sister and I love to think of my mom and the sunflowers, and that's why that one was special. So that chart used the word sunflower, but it has 3 of these and that whole chart there. So that's that one. Same giveaway with January 16th. So, okay. So what other tips that I want to share with you? Okay. So the other things, okay, I want to share with you what I got for Christmas. Merry Christmas to me. And then share with you the Valentine's plans that I have. And there's a lot of freebies that I want to show you. So this was the stuff I picked out for myself for Christmas, because I was looking through my linen and I was just thinking, well, Valentine's is coming. I would really like another red linen. So I went on Dames of the Needle on Etsy, and I like to order $35 so I get free shipping. Now, I already had a piece of Aztec Red from last year. And so this is Aztec Red, and it's by Weeks. And this is what I made out of it. So this was free chart, Stone Street Stitchworks, Sweetheart. So I made that out of it. So I already had this and I love it, but you can see it's like it doesn't have a lot of modeling. It's gorgeous color. It literally is gorgeous. But I wanted to try something else. So I got Dames of the Needle. Look they're just about identical. But this one has more modeling, and I don't know because I think it has started to rain. So the light, oh, there we go. Nope, you can see it. It is more modeled. And so I thought, after I got it, I thought, oh my gosh, it's the same color. But no, it is going to be different because it's modeled. So this has light, more of almost a pink. And so that's going to be fun. I've got plans for that. So that was one thing that I got. And then because I love those of you who've seen my past videos, and I'm tethered so I can't go grab it, but I've done, oh, here's one. See, that's the benefit of having some of this stuff right here. Okay, so this is Dames of the Needle, and I love it. This is another freebie, Stone Street Stitchworks, Thank Wool. Okay, I think Thank Wool, yeah. Anyway, it was on my last video. Okay, this Cosmic Platinum, I love it because I'm primitive. I love it, love it, love it. And I thought, well, surely they've got to have something like that. Well, I got one called Alchemy by Dames of the Needle. It's different. It's different, but it's funky as well. So it's much lighter. It has the hint of gray. But see, there's that corner of that weirdness, which I love. So very primitive, which is me. Then I got one and I thought, oh, it was honey something. The name is not written on here, but I think it was honey wheat. Beautiful, beautiful variegation on there. Beautiful piece of fabric. And then I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to stitch on there? I don't know, but because I'm not buying much linen anymore, I'm trying to get, that's pretty much the color that it is, more of the yellow. But it's it's just a small piece, beautiful linen. Not entirely sure what I'm going to stitch on it, but I'll figure that one out. So those were some things that I got because I'm looking through my collection and really limiting how many charts that I buy now, because I was reading comments and I didn't get a chance to reply. But one of my sweet family was saying that they were buying and buying and buying because they knew shortages were coming and it was hard to get linens and it was almost like a panic attack. That's what I started to feel. Not at the beginning. I was glorious, but as the year progressed, I realized, or a year of me stitching, I realized it was like a negative thing going on within me of I'm getting all this stuff and there's no way I'm going to have time to stitch, and that started bothering me. So that's where I thought, okay, so this isn't so good for me to keep buying so many charts. But as I was looking at the charts that I had, I started wanting to kit them up, and then I was looking through my supply, and there are some threads that you use. I do a lot of blackbirds, and so there's a lot of threads that are used over and over and over, and so that's where when I get lower on the supply, I just wanted to get more. And then as I'm doing my own color conversion for Christmas, I didn't have as many greens and reds as I thought I did. So I bought a few of those, but this one, I have a pattern, thank you Kathy B, that I had lost and then she gave me, and it's Oh Christmas Tree, and it's all one, I can't find it. It's all one color, and I was just not sure what thread I really wanted to use. Well, look at all this variegation. This one is, and see, look at, we've got like 4 different tones in there, because the pattern really had one that when I bought, it was a Valdani, and when I got that thread, it had changed. It no longer looked like that. So this one is Moss by Gentle Arts. So hopefully, but I will need several strands, so I bought a couple more strands, but from a different place. So hopefully it will be like that. But I just chose a lot of threads that I use and I wanted more of. So this was my Christmas gift, but I wanted to share some of them with you. This is a new one. I also just chose, like, I realized I needed a different pink. So this was one I had not, it's going to show, it's really getting dark outside. Classic Colorworks Sweetest Heart. And look at, you can see, if I hold it close, you can see the variegation that this was, is that, actually it's a little darker, more my dark than, so it's kind of a primitive pink is what it is, but very beautiful. And I wish it was better light, because that was my goal, that I really like when people show their threads so that I can get a feel for them. But some of my favorites, like Swamp Water, is one that there's something that I saw someone do. It's a large deer. I think it's Heaven and Nature Sing. And I bought that pattern for last Christmas and did not do it. But look at the variegation. I think Deb from Country Stitches did Swamp Water. And so I now have 3. So those are the things I want to kit up and make sure I can get enough. Man, Sneckley, I go through a lot. And then I really love Toasted Barley. So I just bought a couple more Toasted Barley. It's not showing up, so I'm not even really going to bother. But just a couple flosses, just a couple. There was, like Sneckley, I bought 3. If I knew I was going to use a lot of them, I bought several. But the other thing was, I have a chart that I shared, I think 2 videos ago, called Do You See What I See? And I was using a linen called Highland, and it looked like a beautiful evening sky. And I had a small piece. It was one of the small pieces that you can get from 123 Stitch. And I stole it from a project, so hopefully I can get 2 on there, because the one that I got to replace it, I got a bigger piece. Is that Highland? Picture This Plus. Oh, it's dark in here. Yeah, I want to say Highland, but total different color. Total different color. So it was disappointing when I got, but again, that could be with the real color, with the, you know, what it really should have been, and the other one was not right, but not right, different. So the other thing, because I'm going through, oh, my work is calling, so just a second, let me, let's see. Sorry, that's my work. Okay, I think I hung up on him. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about my parents right now, and I wanted to buy something for Easter, and I've been wanting these charts by Scattered Seed Samplers, and I got them, and I'm going to do them in honor of my mom and my dad. And so so it's just a pair, and really it could be opposite, but my dad used to love to hide the Easter eggs so detailed that one year he had to do a map because he couldn't find the eggs, and it was bugging him because he didn't want them to get all stinky. And then we actually had chickens when we were young, and we had this nasty rooster that would pull our hair if we got close to the cage. But this one is Spring Delivery and Spring Gathering. So I already got a few of the, oh, this one is beautiful too. Little House Brown is actually kind of a primitive pink. Yeah. It's darker than Sanguine. but it's almost in between a red pear and a sanguine, but it's a beautiful, beautiful color. Then the other thing I wanted to try, because I'm a hoop stitcher, is a Nurge. Not a nerd, but it's Nurge, N-U-R-G-E. This is a size of hoop that I don't have. And I really, even the Hardwick Manor hoops, because if I'm going to be getting up and I think I may not sit down for like at least a half hour, I undo it. I take the stitching out of the hoop because I don't want to stretch it. And I also don't like to cover my stitching with a hoop because it squashes the stitches. So I'll start out with a small hoop, and then I try to do everything in that area, and then I just get progressively bigger. That's not always going to work, and sometimes it doesn't work, but that's where I thought, okay, this is a size that I don't have, and because I hold the stitch in my hand, it is a very nice thin one. So I'm going to try it and give that a try, but this is what I had seen a video talking about how well those hold, and I do like the size, and I will wrap it now. Who is that? Kimberly Yonder Ways. I forget what the store is called. If I think about it, I'm not so great at all the notes anymore. Yonder Ways. Can't think of what her store is named, but she does a whole video on how to wrap a hoop and why you would do it. But you wrap it with twill tape, and it just keeps it helps that hoop hold without let me do a quick yes. There we go. It helps hold, it holds the linen without stretching, and you don't have to always, it doesn't loosen up as well. That's what it does. It holds it well in the hoop. All right, so it's going to be longer, so it's going to take forever to upload, but I wanted to share with you some of my Valentine plans and then finishes. So here is one that I just recently finished, and it's a freebie from the Primitive Hair. So I did two different colors. Baked Apple was this one, and I'll have to write in there what color I did of the red. This is that really cool primitive, or no? Okay, so it is dark, and I can't see very well, so hopefully you can see. But I think this was just tea dye. I tea dyed the linen. That's what I tea dyed the linen before I stitched it because I wanted to do over dyes. I want to say this is Indian Summer, but I can put it in there. And then I used, this is ribbon, silk ribbon that I have that they still sell at Beadaholic. So B-E-A-D or Beadaholic, Beadaholic. That's it, beadaholic.com. It's still ribbon that they sell. I was just using Stitch What You Got because it seems like I can never get a chenille dark brown enough, dark red enough, true black that I want. So I've been kind of doing my own things sometimes. This is another one that I did on 32 count white Zweigart with the DMC that it called for, and I coffee dyed it according to Daisy K's Primitives coffee dyeing demonstration. And so this is Valentine Country Rustic Primitives. And this is one that I also finished. This was my first finish. This is Threadwork Primitives, Beggar's Valentine. This is 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. And I know this was chamomile. This is Onyx by Weeks. And I can put in there what that is. So that guy, oh, I know I was sharing about the flat, how I was doing the flat fold. So I've got that finished. I had the Christmas one finished. This is Beggar's Night. This one was actually done on 36 count with 1/1, which really made this look beautiful. This was Autumn Leaves. I still have Beggar's Luck and Beggar's Fourth to do. Then these are the plans that I have for Christmas, and I don't want to dilly-dally too much because it'll take forever. But when you find a free chart, I recommend you print it right away because you never know how long it's going to be available. And I've gone back to try to, I found one when I was cleaning up back from '06, and it's not available anymore, and it's really cute, and I'm going to stitch it. And I wanted to refer it to you guys, but that's where, when I find those free charts, I print them out. So here's a cute one that I might do. That one's Love. And it's a free stitch chart from, this is the information, because I don't know that I'm going to do all the work of putting it in the show notes. I get lazy sometimes. Here is one, and it doesn't say free. I like when I write free chart on there just to make sure, because I don't want to pirate anything. This is a cute one. See, that's it. But it's by Industrious Head. It says that. So Be Mine. So printed it out. So I'm assuming I found it. It was probably, I saw free on Pinterest. This one is from, you can really only see the chart, and it says Love in there, but Not Forgotten. So Lori Brecklin, farmhousenotforgotten.blogspot.com. She has two. I was going to get one out. It's a finish, but not a fully finish. So she has two Valentine ones. Then this one is from Plum Street Samplers. I had wanted to do this last year and didn't get it done. Isn't that cute? Little tiny stocking. This one is from Sandra Logan, Logan Designs. So this was a freebie. I've seen this a lot on Pinterest. This one, okay, the Primitive Hair. See how nice she does hers. So Valentine, this was a freebie from the Primitive Hair. Then, okay, so this is the one, I'm not even going to show you, because if I don't want to make anyone sad. But Sam Sarah Design Studio, they have a lot of cross stitch I didn't even know. That I don't even know where I got. I think it was on one of those store runs where you go to stores on special weekends. Then this one I got on Etsy. So it was Country Stitching, but they're embroidery patterns. So I'm just going to show it quick, because like this is like actually the pattern, the chart. So it's just a bunch of hearts, instant download. I think they're $2.50. So she's so economical. But that's embroidery. This I have had for a very long time. Heart to hand. See, I was just choosing things, and look at, I even have all the real wool all cut out and ready to do. So I thought, time to get some needle punch going. And then, oh my word, I have this. This one is still, this was in a magazine, but it's still available for purchase, I'm pretty sure. But it just looks so spring type and Valentine-y to me. And I even have that fabric, and then I tea-dyed it. So I want to make it pretty similar to that, but I may make it into a project bag, because I have a lot of pillows, like regular size pillows, and I generally just put them on the back of the couch. Okay, get a lot of questions on this when I show it. It's from the book Stitched Sewing Organizers by Aneela, Aneela Hui, Hoey, like a chewy. But this one, I enlarged it, but I needed to make it an inch larger. So I'll share those dimensions if I ever get that done. Okay, I had shared about this last time, but since we're talking about my Valentine's things, this is from the book Deck the Halls. I had shared my finish of first day of Christmas as a stitching box. So I'm going to make another stitching box, and I decided, because I talked about this a lot on my last video, but I'm going to make this as a stitching box. And I even have the pink that I'm going to use, and then the brie wax to make it. And I'm using an oval box from Hobby Lobby with an oval top. So that's the one I'm going to do for Valentine's Day. And it's on opal, and I even have the opal. And mine is a nice creamy, I don't think it's going to show a good color. Yeah, it's not showing the right color. That opal is a nice creamy kind of primitive pink. Okay, what else am I going to do? Okay, so this is Primitive Stitchin'. So there's no G on the end, and she is cross stitch. So I turned that into a project bag, and I am going to be doing, oh, I bought these last year, and I had a failed stitch that I did because I tried it on the Osnaburg, which was not fun. But I'm going to get these done this year, and I chose, instead of the Osnaburg, I'm going to do Country Mocha. So I want to get those done. And then because I'm really stitch what you got, I don't want to really buy any Valentine's chart, probably. My favorite French General. I have my Ooh La La book in here, and I thought, oh, there's nothing that is like, and I have all these projects. That's where the big project bags are great. But I started this, and I didn't, it's on 40 count, so I need to big girl up and finish that up. But it's Baked Apple, and it's from this beautiful book, Ooh La La. And since it's red, it's going to be Valentine-y. It's going to make me think of Valentine. But this is the chart, a little bit French, but I'm going to do it, isn't that beautiful? But I'm going to do it as a needle book. So, or that's what I think now. Who knows what I may do. But those are the plans that I have for Valentine's Day. Oh, and since I have it out, I'm going to show you. So I had mentioned a new basket. It's not new. I've only bought one new basket last year because they're overpriced, and I've been buying them for years and years before they got to be the thing, I guess. And anyway, I had one that I had, and I found another basket that it was an extra, and I just move things around all the time. And then I give them a shower in the shower, let them drip dry. That's what it was happening last time. Oh, this is something else that I'm going to do. This was something either my sister made for my mom, or I have a feeling my mom made, because it doesn't have a beautiful curve. And sometimes she wanted to get it done and enjoy it. But it's a scissor holder. But I thought, wouldn't it be so cute to make a needle book with this in it, and then be able to use it as a scissor holder? But this it needs to be in something because it gets lost a lot. But in my 3-stack rolling cart that I have showed you guys, in the top one is an old basket that I have that fits my project bags. And then my second level, I had all my needle books and project books laying flat, but I couldn't really see them much. Well, this basket that I just reused holds them perfect. So and it's lower. So actually I get to look down into it. So I get to enjoy all these needle books. And since we're talking Valentine's, I have shared how I made this in a lot of other videos. But this pattern is Calico Junction. It was like a $3 download. How I made this whole book, I really share on other videos, and honestly I can't remember which one it is, but I just made it up, and I did it. But Calico Junction, it's a cute pattern. And some of it I usually do 2 threads, and this was just 1 thread. It took forever, but it turned out cute. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you. And I've always got more stuff that doesn't get shared, but by this time it's just like, it is hard for me to talk. So I'm gonna say goodbye and say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And let me know if you come up with a word for the year, a phrase for the year, a verse for the year. I'd love to know what it is. And I'm going to start planning my Abide pillow to get done soon. So there you go. Thank you guys. And I'm so grateful for you guys for watching and for this year. I probably will do a whip parade, because it would be a good way in the new year for me to document what projects that I actually have started. And then I get all excited about them because I've looked at them and I want to finish them. So I really do want to finish things, because my guess is I maybe have 25 whips. And that's really as many as I want to have. I want to get things finished because I do a lot of smalls. So there you go. Then I want to share, I call this the good stuff. So how I walk out my faith with my Jesus. And I had shared in the last one about some challenges that I was facing, and it was stretching me a lot. And then we have thoughts about a lot of different things that we may do in the new year, and we really need wisdom on changes that we may make. And I've shared about that, so because I want to wrap it up, I'll just keep yakking and yakking forever, so we need to finish this up. But this is something I just found when I was cleaning off my hope chest in my bedroom. I had this, and this was how we did our Bible memory verses when we were doing homeschool and when my kids were young. And then I did something called Living Water, which was a neighborhood Bible club. So, see, I started it January 2004. So I was just flipping through it, and I thought, oh, this would be a great verse for this year, Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So that would be a great verse for the year. My chapter for the year is John 15 and my word for the year is abide. So I'm getting myself set up for a victorious, I was going to say, what year is it? 2022. Then I was just looking because we have a lot of decisions to make and opportunities. There's a new opportunity that that may happen on making the move out of state quicker than we had thought. So we need a lot of preparation in that. What state would that be? Southern Colorado, where it's cold. It's cold there. Possibly. We don't know, and we're not going to rush into anything because there's a lot of decisions to make. So we are just praying for wisdom, thinking through things, because it would be, I would retire. I would retire, at least from what I do now, maybe do something different. But I was just thinking about verses on, and I remember a friend of mine, one time I was pretty much having a breakdown, and I ran away with the kids to Colorado and spent a month at my parents'. And I had a mentor that I went to. I knew I needed help. So I had this mentor, and I would go visit her every couple days. And she really helped me work through some stuff and pray for me. And she was just a great elder. She was older than me, but very wise, godly woman. And one time she was saying, she said something and I remembered it. It was just like, maybe I said, I want to move to Colorado. But she said something like, it doesn't really matter where you live. God's not really concerned where you live. It's what you're doing with your life. And so that has been with me a lot. Not that God doesn't care about where I live. His goal for me is to be happy. Happy, no, that's not the word. His goal for me is to be holy. And in being holy, I'm going to find joy. Not happiness is really determined by a lot of other things, but to be joyful, to be victorious, to do what he wants me to do the things that he has created me to do. So that's where I just want to be doing what God has in my life. And if it's in Colorado, then we need to know when and how and where. And if it's to stay in California, then we need some answers to some things right now. So those are just the things. And so in that, that's given me a lot of peace too, because it's like we have a home here, and we could have a home in Colorado too. So this is what I thought. So this is what I thought. Instead of where I would live, it's how I would live. So this is Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. So that's what I was thinking. I just need to stay. We need to plan, and we need to think, and we need to prepare, and we just want to live more frugally. The house difference, the cost of California homes are just very, very expensive. I mean, we have it, and but all in all, we just want to live more frugally, so maybe we can retire earlier. And there's good things to stay here. There's good things to go. So we are caught between two good things is how I want to keep it. But I want to do what God has his plan for me to do. I need to be fruitful. I need to walk through my dad's next stage of life, being able to support him and help him and love him. He's struggling with the aging processes of dementia. So that's where that's where I need to do my life, and I need to support him with my brother and my sister. We're all working together very closely, and it's drawn us together very, very much too. So I want to be fruitful, and I know if I do God's will, I will be fruitful. So there we go. God bless you guys. Thank you, and I pray that your new year is filled with joy nevertheless. All right, guys, bye-bye.